for example, finance. If
Mhm.
you are the CFO, I can imagine several ways to develop a purpose in finance, but still I see that there's, for example, a lot of struggle. Like, how can we have this purpose connected with, yeah, with the complete organization? Does that make sense,
Yes,
Melissa?
absolutely. And I have known some really amazing purpose driven finance leaders. And I think part of it is they're very focused on being ethical. They're focused on being transparent. They're focused on being collaborative. And I feel like empathy is woven through. And so some of those are just great leadership, kind of aspects of great leadership. But even for amazing CFOs, at least that I've worked with, and marketing, sometimes people forget that marketing works very closely with the CFO. Marketing is, I think, two of the most key roles for a marketer are the CFO and the CIO, because marketing is so technical these days. But that CFO is really a partner because marketing is typically a pretty big line item in the budget. And so when
Yeah.
you can find a CFO, when they're really someone who's aligned with their own personal values and they bring that transparency, they bring that authenticity, when they bring trust and ethics to what they're doing, as well as empathy to other parts of the organization and collaboration, it works really well. And I think those are the best CEOs that you find. The ones that are off in a corner and very siloed and have no transparency and no collaboration, for me, those aren't the CEOs that are living really a true purpose-driven leadership style, and
Mhm.
oftentimes that those are the CFOs that people aren't following.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for the last decades, at least, you can see the CFO is much more business oriented than pure the financial and accounting orientation. They can add value and have impact in many ways in an organization if there's really if they are business and purpose focused. And that brings me to another thing I would like to talk about with you is the link between purpose and impact,
Mm.
because that's a very important one, right? We not bring it today.
Yeah, and I think that whole when you think about that purpose and impact, and you can define impact in so many different ways. You can define it from a personal standpoint. If you're a leader of other leaders, if you're a leader of staff, even if you're an individual contributor, what is your impact that you're making? And what is the impact that you want to make? You can also look at it from an organization standpoint. If you're a founder, what change do you want to make in the world? What impact do you want to make in the world? And so for me, a lot of that thinking that through gets back to that, what is your North Star and what really is your purpose? Because that's really tied to the impact that you want to make. And we know that companies that have spent a lot of time here, they understand their impact goes oftentimes much beyond the profit, because doesn't mean you have to be like, there's an organization called Tom's Shoes, and they started the a thing where you bought a pair of shoes and they give a pair of shoes away to somebody in a country that needs them. And it's a wonderful thing. And when you think about that from a purpose, when you think about that from an impact globally, amazing. But not everybody is Tom's Shoes or has that ability. So all of us in just other kind of everyday organizations can still think about what impact are you having.